Hello, this is Puma1, and today I have a review for you on the Echo1 ASR. It's a spring-powered sniper rifle shooting stock at 440 FPS, and it's got a range of about 230-240 feet stock. I've put a 4x30 scope on it by AIM. It makes it it's a really small scope for the sniper, but it's better than nothing. That did not come with the purchase, but a bipod originally did. I have misplaced it over the years. There's a pin right here. We'll get to that. I'm going to go ahead and say the pros and cons of this gun first. That way we can get it out of the way. Two of my favorite features on the entire gun are the retractable stock, which slides in and out. There's 6 positions on it. And the other one are the magazines. If you look at this one here, it's got the button releases on the side that causes springs to be activated. So if you look here, I can press these and it pops out. I don't even have to pull it. See if I can show you that in a better way. I'm just gonna squeeze it. Yep, and it pops straight out. It's got a spring power in it. Makes changing and keeping your magazines in your gun a lot easier. Because if you hit a button on the VSR or one of the other clones, you're not even going to realize it, and it's just going to be laying on the ground. With these, it's going to pop out and be quite obvious. Those are my 2 favorite features in the gun. Some of my lesser favorite features are this. It wobbles all over the place. While it doesn't do anything, it's purely cosmetic. It just kind of, it irks me. I believe there's an Allen wrench screw in there that I can tighten it up with, but all the same. My other little gripe with this gun is this back, what's it called? Back sling mount. It doesn't move at all. It's very annoying, and it can get stuck in your shoulder really easily, or can cause your slings wrap around your body. Very annoying, and it just if it moved, it'd make it a lot easier to use slings with this gun. Moving up on the gun to the pistol grip, I'm not a big fan of the texture of this. It's really, and it's jagged, and if you have dry hands like I do, it gets really annoying to hold because it starts to hurt your hands after a while. But the actual pistol grip, this nub here is really nice, and the finger stop at the bottom down here is also really well done. The actual receiver itself is pretty well made. I can tell it's not going to break. The safety here is you have to push it in to use it, and it's really useful because that way you can't just knock it out of position and go to shoot somebody, and then you have to switch it out and then shoot them and line back up. It's just an annoyance with the VSR clones because you do that all the time. This right here is a very smooth bolt pull. I've also taken it apart and re-greased it, but I remember when I originally got it, it was also pretty smooth. We'll go over the plastic parts on the back of the gun here. This is plastic. It's a pretty decent ABS plastic. It's definitely not quite as strong as nylon fiber. This is also ABS plastic. It's pretty sturdy, but you can feel there's a lot of wobble. This right here is also ABS plastic, the entire trigger part. The actual trigger is also plastic. And this part up here is a very strong nylon fiber. You could probably hit it with a hammer, it wouldn't break. It's the same with the handguard up here. And the general entire portion back here is all made of the same thing. The rails themselves are metal. They're really well done. I had no problem mounting any hardware to them. That's your basic sniper rifle 20mm rails. Really useful. You can mount pretty much anything you want to on there. I've seen anything from as small of a scope as I have to a ginormous matrix scope that was probably from back here to up here, and it still looked good. I like smaller scopes simply because that's all that's necessary for airsoft. But moving on, you have a really strong nylon fiber build up here, and it's not going anywhere. The barrel itself is metal, and you can tell it's pretty well made. I haven't had any ability to scratch up here. The only problem I had up here was taking off the orange flash hider. The thing was a pain in the butt to get off. I spent hours on it, and I finally got it off, and then I realized it didn't even have your standard connections on it, so I have to buy a APS barrel extender. That's the main externals of the gun. Internals, I replaced the entire cylinder assembly, the spring guide, the spring, and the piston. They were all swapped out. It's now shooting about 480 FPS, 490, somewhere in that area. And it shoots really consistently. I haven't had any misfires. I haven't had any issues with the sear sets or anything of the sort. The inner barrel itself is of decent quality. It's a 6.006 or 6.08 millimeter internal barrel. The outer barrel is not going anywhere, and the only problems I've had with this gun would be the hop up. It's really touchy, and I've had times where the hop up nub has fallen out on its own, so I had to go back in, take it apart, and put it back together before it would work. Once I got it working, it would go for a good about 2 months before you'd have any issues, and well, it worked fine. This right here is your bipod nub. As I said, I had a bipod for it, lost it. It's a pretty sturdy one. I've never had any wobble from this. The original bipod was a pretty decent quality, nothing great. If I had the hop up working better, I would do a shooting test, but I don't want to give any falsifications on how good of a gun this actually is. I 100% recommend it. It was my first sniper rifle. It's actually what got me into the role of airsoft sniping. And it's just one of those guns that you don't see very often. You see a lot of VSR clones, you see a lot of L96 clones, but at least in Michigan where I play, I've seen only 3 or 4 of these out of the hundreds of players we have up here. So other than a few annoyances, this gun is pretty much perfect. If you're into the more stealthier look, you could definitely put a barrel extension on here. It's about $10. They're all over the place online, and then you can put a suppressor of whatever length you want on. If you're going to be if you're upgrading the barrel itself, I would recommend getting an AEG one that's cut to use AEG barrels. They're a lot cheaper, and you have a lot more choices between them. You only have 2 or 3 major companies that make them otherwise. I believe the barrel length in here is about 20 inches. So, I mean, I'll get some more measurements in my next video, but until then, I recommend it. Go ahead and get it. They're online all over the place. They come, I believe, with 3 magazines. I picked up a 4th one because I believe I lost one for a short while. And 25 rounders, a load 22 or 23. The major points of this, I'll go over one more time. Mainly plastic body. You got a metal barrel, metal 20 millimeter rails, and a metal bolt assembly. And as far as the gun's performance, it's top of the line. It's a good upgrading platform. You've got plenty of aftermarket parts. Follows all APS-2 regulations, so you can fit anything that's APS-2 compatible in this. This has been a review of the Echo1 ASR. It is highly recommended. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, go ahead and post those below. I will try and keep an eye on this movie as much as I can. Thanks for watching.